Welcome back to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods, out here at the 100 acres again, doing more cleanup. So it's not supposed to be quite as hot today, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more done, but a couple things. So have the stump grinder in the back of the auto, going to get it out. So we have a couple stumps here that are going to be actually in the septic. One in particular that's going to be in the septic area that we want to go ahead and get ground out, and then another one a little bit further away, but while we have it here, we'll do that. We still have the old truck here, the dump trailer. So we have it here to kind of get this cleaned up. We didn't get to it last time. We kind of focused more on that area over there. But we still have a locust and then a couple treetops that kind of broke out whenever it fell. The red oak that was here, so we're going to get it cleaned up. And then there's a dead red oak there that we're going to go ahead and fall and see what mess it makes. It's been dead for a while, so whenever we drop it, it's going to just explode. So we'll get it picked up while we have the dump trailer here and kind of focus on that. And depending on how that goes, we may look at getting some of the gravel from out back and bringing it forward. We really want to put it on the trail down there. We want to get the tarp landscape fabric to put down first, but we can at least get it collected and kind of up this direction so that it's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and get this unloaded to begin with and just set it off and then start working on cleanup. This is what feels like day 100 of kind of getting areas cleaned up here, and I know as videos go, a lot of this is more for me, just because as we clean up these areas, it's fascinating, you know, in even a couple years, whenever things really start to change here, you know, what it looked like to what it will be. So a lot of this is going to be more of a documentation for my own interest, but doing all the video is one thing, and then compiling it to put on YouTube into a, you know, 15 to 20 minute video actually makes it enjoyable to watch. And then you also get my commentary here. So a lot of this, plus, you know, some other days we'll have lots of cleanup and won't necessarily be the most exciting. I understand that, but a lot of this is for my documentation as well. So we opt for the small tractor, the B2150, and the auto today. So we're getting a lot of this stuff pulled out, and it's one of those things that at face value it didn't look like there was a whole lot there, but as you start getting stuff drug out, you realize how much other stuff really got taken down and how much brush there is. So end up having to do several dump trailers worth here of getting this cleaned up. And then that tree right at the left edge that you can see of this screen here, when kind of getting back there and pulling stuff out, notice that there is no center to that tree. It is completely hollow in the middle. So we go ahead, and it was one of those things, we went ahead and got it picked up while we were going through and doing this. So we actually cut it down here while we were kind of cleaning up, just because it was fairly sketchy and was going to fall at some point anyway. So go ahead and get it on the ground. So even though it created a little bit more work, it was definitely something that was going to fall eventually, so we went ahead and did it on our terms. So get this backed in, get it dumped, and go ahead and utilize the little tractor. So follow him back here, put it in the high gear, and get that stuff pushed in once you got that dumped. So again, the little tractor is not near as helpful getting some of that stuff really pushed back, and we need to expand that area. So next time we have the 62 there, as I have mentioned before, we'll get that opened up a little bit more, which will expand our capacity to you know, get that open. While we're doing a little bit of cleanup here, had one piece of sycamore left over there by the septic area, so go ahead and get it picked up and moved over. At this stage, we've gotten most everything cleaned up from back here, so you can see it's really opened up. Have a little bit of that sycamore still back there that we need to clean up, kind of on the left-hand side, but most of it's picked up. And then have the locust pieces that we need to get, the actual kind of base of the tree, kind of getting cleaned up around that now, and getting the stump there picked up, and some of the dead stuff that was around. So kind of getting it worked out. That is the one thing with the forks, is kind of have to get things more balanced than with the grapple. And it's a lot of the stuff that we have left in here really needs to kind of be grappled, so we kind of get a little bit more cleaned up, and then end up deciding that we'll just wait till the 62 is over and use it to, you know, kind of do the final cleanup. But have that little bit of locust that will get cleaned up, and everything. So switch over here. Didn't get footage of switching it on the tractor, but we put the stump grinder on, so I figured I'd just give a sped up version here of getting some of this. You can see our posts there on the left, the stake that we put in the ground, so it's just within the bounds of the septic. But we'll go ahead and get this cleaned up, so he works on doing that one, plus there's a couple others, small ones. We'll leave those big ones for later, and some of those we may even dig out because they're kind of outside the bounds of the septic or the drain. But there's another small one kind of in front of the tractor a little ways that he goes ahead and gets, and kind of gets all those ground up, and then just does a quick smooth them back over. So while he is working on that, I go ahead and start taking the trails and seeing what we have down, and to my surprise there actually was a pretty decent red oak here that was down. So I go ahead and get it cleaned up a little bit, just cut it into sections big enough that he can sweep stuff out of the way. And then again, whenever we have kind of maybe the big tractor here, or just are more prepared, take the otter and get these things picked up. Most of it's going to be just decent firewood. It's a little mealy, but it has quite a bit of good still in it, so we'll probably get it picked up. But for now, just so that our trail's open, just kind of get it swept to the side, which I'll show here in just a bit. We have this main part and the top that was kind of laying in, so get it cut up enough that he'd be able to get that cleaned up. So we didn't have anything else down, just a couple small things, so didn't record any of that, but here just a quick time lapse of him getting that pushed off, and just following him here with the chainsaw. So if there's anything else that needs to be cut, which there is one dead tree that kind of caught, didn't quite get all the way to the ground, so I go ahead and get it cut, and he gets it swept off to the side. So we're right at the edge of the property. There's a marker here somewhere. I don't know if you can see it from this position, but we are right at the edge. So we don't have complete room kind of to the left hand side there to do too much, but it's enough room that we at least get what we can cleaned up. So look at the food plot real quick, kind of check it out, decide that he's going to go around to the 500, and the logs that we pulled out with the 62 a few weeks ago, just gonna get the log trailer and get those out while we're kind of working on stuff and continuing to clean up. He wants to work on cleaning up the line of sight from the bench out to the 500, so he kind of works on that, and I didn't get footage. I forgot to put the camera up when we first started, but there you can see, got it hooked up, had the first load on, and got those pulled out. So he's working on getting that area there cleaned up, and we just left the tractor there, so have the hedge trimmer and pole saw that he's utilizing to get all that So the first tree, first couple were the small ones, so these are the bigger ones that we pulled out. A little bit of a split in it, but not too bad. So I go ahead and stop and put a ratchet strap on it. That was moving around a little bit, and we have some hills here that I didn't want to lose that log while I was going up and down. So I go ahead and get a chain set up so that basically I chain to one of the trees that we already have, use one of the chokers, and I'm able to just drive away and pull that off. Back up a little bit so I can get the cable off. I have to hook up the cable to the trailer here to get it pulled out, but I have that one, and then the next big one. So come back around to the 500 in the past. So I think I've explained this before, but if you're kind of new, one of the reasons we built this trailer was for applications like this. So go back into the woods and, have these trees. Before we would just, skid them out. So there's two reasons we kind of stopped doing that. One is the gravel. So it's either A, embedding gravel into it, or you're just messing up the gravel. So don't like to do that. The other part is skidding them out gets a lot of dirt on them. And then whenever we try to sawmill that, or if you're burning it, you have that dirt that is either being put into the fire, or that you're putting onto the sawmill. So we're trying to eliminate that as much as possible and utilize the trailer when we can. So that's why we came up with this trailer and started utilizing it more. And you can get a lot more with it than in just like the forks of the tractor, and it's a lot quicker. Okay, so he's done just a little bit more cleanup of that line of sight that I mentioned before, from the bench to the 500. So I got the drone out, did a little bit of playing with it. So there, over the site that we've been using, look left and right, you can see we had a little bit of open area. So I've sped up the drone footage here just because it kind of drug on a little bit. But I have the pole saw set up so that he could get this area to the left cleaned up. So we have the 400 right there in front of it, and then up that hill behind that kind of leaning tree is the 500, which is where the logs were. So all this stuff on the left, he got that all cleaned up. We eventually gonna harvest that dirt there. It has a lot of sandstone in it that we can utilize on trails like this, that we can kind of put down. So eventually that hill will be gone, and we won't have that constant issue of having that overgrown. But just with the nature of things growing, we're always going to have some issues. So go ahead and get some of this cleaned up while it's not too bad out. So get that done. So then I kind of fly over under the power lines and show you our bench. Have a little bit of issue with the camera on the drone. I keep having to correct the lighting, just because I keep going in the light and dark areas here, kind of flying between the trees. So sorry for the under and overexposure. I try to kind of get it situated here, but have to kind of keep playing with it on my phone to keep it set correctly. So come in, you can see there kind of in the center our wooden bench, and then over there we go in the center is kind of the lane that we utilize. So the first 100 yards are actually over water. That's about the 200 right about here. So that's what we started with, because none of this was opened up past that, and this was actually a big hill. So we don't have enough canopy open to where you can actually see the complete lane, but that was the lane there. And then just showing a little bit of footage of him using the tractor overhead. So I had a small tree took down over there that he got out of the way, and got it cleaned up, just because even though you have the line of sight and then the arc of the trajectory, so you have to think about that too, and kind of cleaning some of these areas out. So able to get a lot of this cleaned up though, and then just got the top, that's what he was dragging out earlier, and then this main part of the tree. Again, it's pretty small, nothing special, it's a sycamore, so go ahead and just add it to the green hole. So I'll give you a quick look here at the home site, and that'll wrap it up for this video. I think next time we'll have the dump trailer here again, and then we'll utilize the 62. Finish getting that area directly below me there cleaned up. Have just small sticks and brush kind of underneath that would be a lot of work to do by hand, whereas the grapple you can just drive through a couple times and get it all picked up. So that's what we're going to do next go around. I can kind of see this area starting to take shape as far as what's going to be the home site, and obviously the septic over there to the left. So exciting to kind of finally start to get this progress and see what it's going to become. So thank you for watching the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. I know a lot of the cleanup stuff isn't always the most exciting, but like I mentioned at the beginning, it's a lot of documentation for me, and it'll be exciting to watch in a few years when things start to really change. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.